To continue on to our disaster preparedness series, today I want to talk to you about food storage. In an earthquake, in any disaster, ice storm, power goes out for any time, you're not going to be able to get to the store to get the things you need to survive for 3 days to about a week. Here in the garage is where we keep most of our canned goods and our stored pantry area, as you call it. I know most people say garage isn't the greatest thing in the world because it heats up during the summertime. I always look at if you have it on stock, you can use it. It doesn't diminish it that much. We use a different types of storage racks that we had. I picked these wooden cabinets up from a friend. He was remodeling his house, tearing them down, wanted to get rid of them. These here just basically were built in bookshelves. What I did is I put together an area here called a first in, first out. You feed your cans in here and it rolls out into here. We can put up to 10 different cans on each one of these shelves to where one will roll in. As you put one in, it rolls in and comes out here. So you're always stocking your first ones that you put in is your first ones out. I have first shelves here and shelves here. These here are just rollable shelves here that we can put 4 cans per shelf. I have a full line up here. Up on top we have more storage where I keep boxes of rice, coffee, canned goods that we usually use. We try to keep 4, 5, 6 items each. Stuff we go through a lot. Beans for burritos and stuff. 10 cans, honey, hot sauce, all up through here. On this side here, we have another side to where I have 2 shelves. And that just gives us some more canned food stocking. Down here, I actually have bigger 5-gallon buckets of some bigger stuff. We keep at least 60 pounds of flour in cans or in plastic jars. I bake every Sunday to do bread, tortillas, and stuff like that. So we keep that. I want at least 100 pounds of sugar. These here we have, I think there's about 60 some pounds there. There's 8 4-pound bags per each. We rotate it out. This here's just normal stuff that we go through. I rotate it through. I have grains that we do for bread too. And then you have, long-term storage too. But this here's more of a pantry area that I use. We use it every day. We live out of it. I wanted to have at least 3 months worth of supplies on these shelves. So if we ever had any problems, we could stay here in the house and not have to go shopping. We live in a rental right now, so I can't put things permanently. These here all will come out. Where we bought land and where we're moving to, we will be 47 miles away from a major store. So shopping will be basically once a month. I have to actually bring the store to my garage. We will put up a big, huge pantry area, and we will store lots of food for us to where if we needed to live 6 months out of our pantry, we could. And that means we only have to do a big bulk shopping once a month. We'll go into town, buy what we need, come back out here and have this. If anything ever happened heavily, then we'd have to rely on the bigger garden that we have and use produce that way. Another easy way that you can store food for disaster situation is in pre-boxes that you can buy. There's a couple of different manufacturers that manufacture these. Check online. This one here is Emergency Food Supplies from Augustin Farm. This here will give you 203 servings, total calorie count, but this here is all pre-packaged in a sealed box. I keep 4 of these around just in case I need to grab food instantly. Once our pantry supply is gone, if I need to actually leave the house because of any natural disaster, flooding, something, I can grab these, throw them into the truck, and take on off, and I have food supplies for us. Another easy way to do it, if you're starting out, MREs, they're military grade, meals ready to eat. These are designed for the troops. There's 2,000 calories per packet. You can buy them in cases. You can buy them individually. Secondhand stores, Army surplus stores usually have these. A lot of times you can find them online, or you can just order them and bring them in. These here are nice supplements to long-term storage for your food storage. We do some, we've got 5-gallon buckets of beans and rice, and I'll show you some of that later, of what we store too as a long-term. So if I ever came down to where I needed long-term food to where I could not get to the store, something majorly happened and we had to spend a month, 2 months, 3 months out, I would have a long basis until I got my garden growing and could sustain life that way. So these here are just other ways you can actually get and start your food storage. When it comes to emergency preparedness and in food storage, you have to remember, store food that you eat. If you store 80 pounds of rice and you don't know how to cook it, and you don't even like the taste of rice, why would you have it? I store a lot in my pantry area, minute rice, because in an emergency situation, minute rice is probably the easiest thing to cook. Since it's actually dehydrated rice, it takes less fuel, and a guy can do it. Cup of rice, cup of boiling water, boom, you let it sit for a little bit, and you have rice. You have a staple that you can actually eat. Regular rice, you're gonna boil it, good for it, you have to cook it for 20 minutes. How much fuel are you gonna actually use to cook and process that? Beans, you need to soak them overnight. Beans take a lot of work to produce, but they will store for a long time. That's why we do keep beans and we do keep rice. If I had to, I can cook up a batch of beans and rice, make tortillas, and I could have food for long term. We're talking, a year's worth of food there. It's been a staple for many people in third world countries, and this here's what they hand out. So beans and rice is something really good to have, but you have to actually use it. You have to learn how to cook it. How hard is it? Can you actually cook on your normal stove? In a disaster situation, your electricity or gas will not work. Do you have alternative areas that you can cook it in? Do you have wood for wood burning barbecue? Do you have a gas source? Do you have a propane barbecue? I'll get into some alternative cooking systems that we have here around the house. And hopefully once we move onto our land, there will be multiple ways I can actually cook and make bread off-grid at our property. But you have to remember, if you don't have it stored, you can't get it. Stores keep 3 days worth of food on their shelf. If a disaster hits, they will be hit heavily for the first night and you will have nothing left. The only thing we're saying, expand your pantry. Most people, if they're on a budget, they're living week to week, buy something extra. If you're buying 4 cans of corn, buy 5, put 1 away. Then start rotating them. After a while, you will find out that you will have 10 cans of corn, 10 cans of beans, 10 cans of this, and then what you can do is, as you use 2, replace 2. It's not that hard to start an extra food storage system to where you have that little insurance. So just remember, just start what you need to do. Put a little food storage aside. Put a little extra money. Don't buy a cup of coffee. Buy some other cans of food. Store some stuff. So the next time an ice storm hits, an earthquake hits, or electricity goes out, you're going to have that extra little peace of mind that you have something still to eat. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps.